Charles Leclerc is one driver that is doing well for himself and his team this season. Having conquered Formula 3 and Formula 2 before making the big step into Formula 1, the Ferrari number 1 is regarded as one of the best hands in sports. But there is more to this Leclerc than his superb driving skills. From his exploits as a rookie to his preferred racing number, join us in today's video as we explore the fact sheet and reveal some of the things you probably don't know about Charles Leclerc. Number 10. He drove a Formula 1 car in 2016. As a young member of the Ferrari family, it is only proper that Leclerc got his first ride with a Ferrari-affiliated team. His first experience behind the wheel of an F1 car was during a practice session at the 2016 British Grand Prix when he drove for the Haas F1 team. Team boss Guenther Steiner said, "Charles Leclerc is highly regarded by Ferrari and his record speaks for itself. We're happy to provide this opportunity to help develop the next generation of Formula 1 drivers." Leclerc would get more test sessions during the course of the season, but he couldn't make the jump straight from the GP3 to the Formula 1, so he continued his racing journey in Formula 2. Number 9. Incredible dominance in Formula 2. Still only 24, Charles Leclerc had an interesting racing career that began with karting at the age of 8. He won plenty of laurels in different kart racing competitions, including 3 French PACA championships between 2005 and 2008, 1 Junior Monaco Kart Cup in 2010, and the WSK Euro Series title in 2012, among others. In 2013, which was his final season as a kart racer, Charles Leclerc finished second in the CIK FIA World KZ Championship behind reigning world champion Max Verstappen, after which he upgraded to the Formula 3 or GP3 as some call it. His time in Formula 3 was marked by a solitary junior championship title and several podium finishes. And next up, he shone like a million stars to light up Formula 2. Of course, he created many beautiful memories, including one particular instance where he drove all the way from the 12th position in Turn 1 to win the race. Eventually, Charles Leclerc secured the championship, winning 72 more points than the next driver. Number 8. His preferred racing number is not 16. Coming into Formula 1, Charles Leclerc would love to race with the number 7, but Kimi Räikkönen already picked it. His next favourite, the number 10, was held by his friend Pierre Gasly. So, in the end, he opted for number 16. "It is quite simple, to be honest," Charles Leclerc explained, as reported by the Italian media. "I wanted number 7 first, but Kimi had it. Then I chose 10, but Pierre came to Formula 1 and chose number 10. So I chose number 16. It's just my birth date, and I could not find anything better. And 1 plus 6 equals 7, which is my favourite number." Number 7. Ferrari took a risk with Leclerc. Unlike some other Formula 1 teams, Ferrari have a special preference for hiring experienced drivers. But surprisingly, they acted differently when they replaced former world champion Kimi Räikkönen with Charles Leclerc, a youngster from Formula 2. It showed the kind of faith that the prancing horse brand had in Leclerc's ability. His quick-fire promotion surprised many within the Formula 1 space. But at the moment, it looks like Ferrari made the right decision. Number 6. He has a luxury car collection. Apparently, Leclerc doesn't only enjoy driving fast cars, he has a knack for stockpiling them in his garage too. At the last count, the 24-year-old had a breathtaking supercar collection of cars that are worth a combined $7 billion. Being a Ferrari driver, you expect that he'd have at least one car with the Prancing Horse badge as part of his collection. And that's the case anyway, because he owns a $590,000 Ferrari F8, which throbs out a maximum power output of 700 horsepowers. Sounds like the perfect car for a Formula 1 driver, right? Other cars in Leclerc's impressive garage include a Land Rover Discovery, a McLaren GT which zips from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, a $1 million Rolls-Royce Wraith, and finally a limited edition $3 million Bugatti Chiron. Number 5. He participates in virtual racing. The COVID-enforced boredom of 2021 inspired us all to look for new hobbies, and Leclerc isn't any different. At the peak of the pandemic, the Monegasque driver created a Twitch channel to stream his virtual racing career. His first attempts were quite successful as he won the first 2 virtual racing tournaments he enlisted for, including the F1 Virtual Series and the Shanghai International Circuit. Currently, his Twitch channel has over 700,000 followers. This was something I definitely did not expect to enjoy, and I never saw myself doing that, Leclerc said during a remote interview. But actually, I really enjoyed it, and I think it is the closest to people that follow me that you can get to the real me, he added. Number 4. He is a Formula One Grand Slam winner. Earlier this season at the Australian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc made history as the 26th driver in the history of Formula One to complete a Grand Slam. To achieve this incredible feat, the Monegasque took pole position, posted the fastest lap, and led from the start to finish to win the race at Albert Park. Before Leclerc's inviolable achievement, the last Ferrari driver to secure a Grand Slam was Fernando Alonso at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore back in 2010. However, the 24-year-old insists that crossing the finish line first is the most important thing. In the end, what matters is that I cross the finish line first at the end. Then it's always nice, and it shows how good a job we've done until now, especially this weekend with a statistic like this, but yeah, it doesn't matter to me that much. Number 3. He lied to his dad about signing for Ferrari. In 2017, Charles Leclerc was one of the hottest prospects in the Ferrari Driver Academy, and he looked set to make the leap into Formula One the next season. Back then, his father Harvey was seriously ill and leaving his last days. Knowing that his father's greatest wish was to see him drive in the Formula One, a 20-year-old Leclerc lied that he had secured a spot at a Formula One team for the 2018 season, probably to make his dad happy. But eventually, he signed for one of the biggest teams in the sport. It was a bit earlier than I had really signed, but in the end, I didn't lie, because I am here and now in Ferrari, which feels incredible. His father later lost his battle with illness in the summer of 2017. But only 3 days after his father's death, Charles Leclerc showed championship stuff to win Baku. I asked myself what my father would have wanted me to do at that moment, he recalls. I was extremely close to my father. He had basically done everything for me. I went straight to Baku and then came back to do what I needed with my family, he continued. Number 2. Family tragedy. Max Verstappen and Mick Schumacher are 2 prominent examples of close relatives of ex-Formula One drivers who are actively involved in the sport. Charles Leclerc could also slot into this category because ex-Formula One driver Jules Bianchi happens to be his godfather. The French racer gave Leclerc his first karting lesson as a 4-year-old, and aside from being the best friend of Leclerc's elder brother, Bianchi shared a close bond with Leclerc's family, as their parents were friends as well. Unfortunately, Jules Bianchi had a nasty crash at the Japanese Grand Prix in 2014 and died 1 year later in 2015 at the age of 25. I think it's clear to the eyes of everyone who knows this sport, Jules had an exceptional talent. It's also thanks to him I'm here today. We grew up together. He was a few years older, my older brother's best friend. Our fathers were best friends too, the Ferrari number 1 said. So our families have always been close and still are. And yeah, I learned a lot from him because he helped me a lot, especially in my first years in karting. He had all the talent to have a great career in F1. Fast forward to 2018, Antoine Hubert, a close friend of Leclerc, died while driving in a Formula 2 race on the same weekend where Charles Leclerc was scheduled to race in the Belgium Grand Prix. But just as he did after his father's death, Leclerc went on to win the race. But despite these experiences, Leclerc insists he doesn't think about danger while driving. I was extremely close to Jules, and Antoine I'd known since we were young. It is very, very difficult to see people you have known but aren't here anymore because of the sport you love most. But I don't think about stopping. I have been programmed to do this since I was young. There is nothing else I can do. I am just good at driving. Number 1. His brother is a racer too. Unknown to many Formula One fans, Charles Leclerc has a brother, Arthur Leclerc, who is part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. As one of the best drivers in the sport, Leclerc is best placed to nurture and mentor his brother to stardom. However, the Ferrari Racer One says he is happy to offer personal assistance to his brother Arthur, but when it comes to racing, he would rather let him find his own way. Ironically, Charles Leclerc says he occasionally gets racing tips from Arthur. Sometimes during a race weekend when he's following my F1 race on TV, he spots things that maybe I've not noticed from inside the cockpit, and he lets me know and try and help me, which is always nice. So the support goes both ways. In your opinion, what is the most interesting thing about Charles Leclerc, and what are his chances of winning the Drivers' Championship this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. That's it for today. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.